Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Pri Vrajagacharya Stotra Satta Sri Srimad His Divine Grace Shalaboy Charan Arvind Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki ISKCON BBT Founder Acharyas Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Samaveta Bhakti Vrinda Ki Harinam Sankirtan Ki Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Gaura Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and to Sri Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada Ki.
हरे कृष्णा। तो आज हमारा बहुत परम सौभाग्य है, हमें परम पूज्य भक्ति राघव स्वामी महाराज जी का संग प्राप्त हो रहा है। तो महाराज जी का जो कुछ इंट्रोडक्शन है वो मैं इंग्लिश भाषा में दूंगा आपको। तो महाराज was born to French Canadian Roman Catholic parents in the province of Ontario. And His Holiness Bhakti Raghav Swami Maharaj spent 7 years of his undergraduate studies in seminary before completing his Bachelor of Arts degree at Ottawa University 1968, जहाँ पे महाराज जी ने majoring in philosophy and social psychology. And then Maharaj joined Hare Krishna movement in 1974. And same year, 1974, Maharaj was initiated as Raghava Pandit Prabhu. So Maharaj has also contributed in youth services. Like from 1974 to 1976, Maharaj served at ISKCON Ottawa. And from 1976 to 1992, Maharaj also lived in India, where he pioneered in New Bhakta program and Namhat village preaching. And we have also heard from talks of Radhe Shyam Prabhu that Maharaj was the first youth preacher in ISKCON Calcutta. So, and then afterwards, Maharaj accepted sannyas on Gaur Purnima Day, 1985, and from 1993 to 2000, Maharaj has served as co-GBC for ISKCON Canada and as temple president for ISKCON Montreal. And 2001 to 2004, Maharaj was based in Indonesia, where he developed and oversees 6 rural community projects in addition to youth hostel. So regarding this, Maharaj was also telling in one of his talks that Indonesia, where Maharaj developed this community, there only 3 devotees were there, and now we have 150 devotees over there. So in the year 2004, Maharaj completed his master's degree in education, cum laude, from the Yogya Karta University, writing his thesis entitled A Comparative Study of Gurukul and Pondak Peasantry, a case study of 3 Gurukuls in India and 3 Pondak Peasantry in Indonesia. And Maharaj in 2006 became involved with preaching activities and community development in Cambodia, where he established an NGO called Global Varnashrama Education Social Cultural Organization, GLOVESCO, and is spearheading a rural community called Yashodapura Ashram. The same year, Maharaj was able to return to India after a long absence of 13 years and spearheaded a rural project in South India called Sahyadri Krishna Balaram Kshetra, SSKVK, from where courses on Varnashram College were introduced. And as we all know, Maharaj is instrumental in establishing at so many places Varnashram Dharma, which was desire of Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada said that half of my work is done. I'm not able to do half of my work, so Maharaj is a big instrument in that. Also, as you all can see, Maharaj has only one leg, so recently Maharaj was giving a talk in this Gurukula, which we have here in Nigadi. So one boy, small boy, asked a question to Maharaj, Maharaj, what happened? Why you have only one leg like that? So Maharaj gave such a beautiful answer. Maharaj said, Krishna gives and Krishna takes. And Maharaj said, obviously you all know that Mayapur just protect the deities of Shri Radha Madhava. Some dacoits have come and they bombed, and because of which Maharaj lost one of his leg. So we would like to welcome His Holiness Bhakti Raghav Maharaj for this youth session by one time loudly chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Takshurmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Pasya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Jai Shri Sri Gauranitai ki, Jai Shri Sri Radha Govinda ki. Someone is translating or not? No. Okay. So I'd like to begin by thanking all of you for attending this short session. It's always very inspiring to see devotees who are enthusiastic in practicing Krishna consciousness. In particular, Srila Prabhupada, thank you. In particular, Srila Prabhupada was very much eager to bring in young educated persons. We know that even before going to the Western countries, Srila Prabhupada was himself engaged in various preaching activities, including youth preaching as well. Naturally, when we are younger, it is the age, special period of our life actually, to be inquisitive about ourselves and about what we should do with our life. Srila Prabhupada, as the foremost representative of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Harinam Sankirtan movement, is giving us, all of us actually, unlimited opportunities to be engaged in various ways in the mission of Lord Chaitanya. We should all try to understand how each one of us, each and every one of us, we have a particular mission. We're not just born by accident. We're born for a purpose, especially we are born as human beings, especially at this particular historical time, historical period. We're living a very crucial period in the history. It is, of course, Kali Yuga, but a very unique and very special Kali Yuga. We read, we understand from Shastra how Krishna appears only once in a day of Lord Brahma, and he only remains and performs his pastimes 425 years. It's not a very long time. 125 years in a day of Lord Brahma, very short. And whenever Krishna appears, Lord Chaitanya also appears shortly afterwards. And Lord Chaitanya appears to actually introduce a very special period, special era, we call golden era, Satya Yuga. And that means that actually anyone who is born at this time is very, very fortunate. The whole world, as Prabhupada on numerous occasions has tried to explain to us, is actually in dire need of this knowledge of Krishna consciousness, of this knowledge which only can be found actually in the Vedic literatures. And it is a special duty and responsibility of people from India to actually cultivate this knowledge and to, following in the footsteps of Srila Prabhupada, to actually introduce it all over the world, which is of course happening now. And many of you sitting here, actually all of you, ultimately, you have a very special and unique role. I was mentioning the other day that when I joined as a devotee, I was about 27 years of age, completed my education, had worked for a couple of years, but like most young men, I was confused as to what to do with my life, which is quite natural. And then, to my great fortune, of course, I came in contact with devotees, like all of us, through his books, through Prabhupada's books. And I remember after joining, for 2 years I was serving at the Ottawa Temple, because that's where I joined in Canada. A small temple, practically no sannyasis would ever visit. Prabhupada never came there. It's kind of a lot, although Ottawa is the capital of Canada, but it was a very small temple. Maybe we had 6 or 7 devotees. And I became the head cook within a short time because I had some previous experience in cooking. My father actually is a chef. Parampara. Anyways, so I remember cooking for the Sunday feast especially, and I would be listening to lectures of devotees who were in India. Especially, I would be hearing when Gaur Purnima was being celebrated, devotees were going on parikrama, and I was dreaming, wow, maybe one day I'll be able to come to India. But I was thinking, maybe after 1 year of being in the kitchen, I mean, I love the service, and I was a good cook also, because my father was a good cook. So, but I was thinking, how long is Krishna going to keep me here? Like locked up in the kitchen, right? I had no idea that after a few short years, well, within 2 years, our temple president arranged that the 3 brahmacharis, we were basically 3 brahmacharis and maybe 1 or 2 grihastas, we got an opportunity in 1976. I joined in 74, so in 1976, just before Gaur Purnima, he announced to us that, okay, I'm taking you to India. So 1976, Gaur Purnima was my first time, along with my 2 other godbrothers, Lakshmanath Prabhu and Krishnadas Kaviraj Prabhu, who later became grihastas. And we were all joking with our temple president, we're all going to stay in India. Of course, he didn't take us seriously because he absolutely did not want us to stay in India because the temple was empty. We were basically the only devotees. And I remember, well, if you're all from India, so it's I suppose it's like going to a new country, because for me to come to India, like most people from, most devotees who come in contact, we hear so many wonderful things, of course, about India. So it was a major experience just to land. We were 350 devotees on the flight from New York. It's a long flight. I forget, it stopped somewhere in the Middle East. When the flight landed, we immediately saw all kinds of army people surrounding the airplane. I don't know what was going on. It was just kind of a stopover. In that flight, there were 2 great personalities whom we've all heard of. Some of you might have met them, but they're no longer with us. His Holiness Tamal Krishna Maharaj and His Holiness, who is very close, Vishnajan, thank you, yeah, Vishnajan Maharaj. And they were carrying deities, Radha Damodar deities, because they were, heading up the Radha Damodar bus party. So they had the deities in the front of the airplane. And, we were chanting. We were chanting a little bit too much or too loudly, and even dancing in the airplane. The air pilot had to make an announcement, can you slow down or cool down, sit down? This is a flight where we're 30,000 feet up in the air. And then it was time for Mangal Arati. So these are there, right? It's like you're in a temple, right? A flying temple. So it was arranged that we could all go, slowly walk and take darshan of, Sri Radha Damodar. So I think the flight, of course, finally landed at Dam Dam Airport. It was a big event, actually, and devotees had organized buses, I don't know how many buses, at least 10 buses or more. And just going from Calcutta to Mayapur was a whole big experience, you know, seeing India for the first time. And then in Mayapur in those days, there was only the Lotus building. Only the Lotus building. We stayed in what is still there today. We call it the wall, the rooms on the wall, actually, yeah, which are now turned into different gift shops and whatnot. We had to take shower by hand pump. It was still a little cold, beginning of March. Not too cold, but I had, of course, met, I got initiated in 74, and Prabhupada had come to Montreal in 75. In those early days, it was rare actually for those who joined after 74 or 73 to actually meet directly Srila Prabhupada. Because very often devotees ask, what did Prabhupada tell you? What, you know, what kind of exchange did you have? So many disciples of Srila Prabhupada, very different than many devotees today, had very less opportunity to directly. So in any event, when I naturally had a desire in my mind to stay in India, but I knew that our temple president was not at all in favor. And but at that time, actually, Srila Prabhupada, he had told the GBC, his GBC man, I want you to keep some devotees in India because we have 3 main projects. Mayapur, Vrindavan, and Juhu. And at that time, Bombay, now Mumbai. Kolkata, yeah. So, they had, in Mayapur, they had set up some kind of room where they were interviewing devotees who wanted to stay in India. So I happened to go there to inquire whether they still needed people, you know, devotees. And they said, of course, we need devotees to stay in India. So then I said, let me go and ask my temple president. So I went, I spoke to him, and his immediate response was, forget about it. You cannot stay. Yeah. You're our main cook. We have only a few brahmacharis. So anyways, from Mayapur, we all traveled to Vrindavan. That was the system. Everyone in Mayapur spent 2 weeks, then we went to Vrindavan. And then, in my mind, actually, I had decided means that I had came to the conclusion, okay, I'm psychologically ready to stay in India, but whatever Krishna arranges. I had that frame of mind. So going to Vrindavan, the other 2-week period of festival came to an end, and you know, our flight was booked. We all left Vrindavan to go to Delhi, because you can't fly out of Vrindavan. So we went to Delhi to the airport. It was a late night flight. So we were all lined up. I had my ticket in my hand. My luggage had already gone. And I was maybe the 5th one before checking in. And then somebody tapped me on the shoulder. You're staying in India. Krishna makes his own arrangements. So naturally I was, to say the least, quite happy. And so from the airport, I mean, my luggage went back to Canada, actually, without me. So I was left with a little bag, maybe I had a toothbrush or something. And I was, from the airport, actually we took a taxi to go to the Delhi temple. At that time, it was just a small house, rented place. And from the airport, I remember I was sitting between two sannyasis, Jagtat Maharaj and Sridhar Maharaj. I don't know why they sat me in between, probably because they didn't want me to whatever. So we went to the Delhi temple. The next morning I was on the train back to Mayapur. And of course, Mayapur, during festival time, it's wonderful. So many devotees are there. After the festival, no one is there, practically. But anyways, those were my early days in India, in Mayapur, and like most devotees in those early days, we could never imagine how, after some period of time, we would be doing whatever we have been doing, especially traveling. Somebody said, if you want to travel around the world, join the Hare Krishna movement. So even though we, especially when we were younger, it's natural, we don't know what Krishna has in store for us. But we should know that if we develop the proper mood and proper mentality, the essence of which basically is to render service. We call service mentality or service mood. Then Krishna, he does what is necessary to help in Srila Prabhupada's mission. So in the last few years, as many of you are knowing, because you're part of that, youth preaching in India has taken on new heights, new dimension, and that's because there's a real need, a very urgent need for more and more sincere devotees and qualified devotees to be part of Prabhupada's mission. We are all extremely fortunate to get this opportunity, and as it is nicely explained, the success of a disciple is to actually understand the mood, the mentality, and the desires of his spiritual master. That we should try to understand is our main responsibility, our main business as devotees, especially one who becomes a formal initiated disciple, either living full-time in the temple or living outside the temple. In one sense, it is secondary. Whether we are in the temple or whether we are outside the temple, we are all, especially those who are initiated, we are all called upon to become full-time devotees. It means fully engaged in the mission of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Srila Prabhupada. We have it, Srila Prabhupada has given to all of us has left us with a huge mandate to spread, to continue spreading Krishna consciousness all over the world. We all can see and understand how the whole world is very grossly misdirected. So many things are being done which are totally against the principles of Dharma. But we have that tremendous responsibility to actually gradually introduce this culture, actually, this eternal culture of Krishna consciousness. And it needs to be done intelligently, it needs to be done systematically, it needs to be done especially through different educational pursuits. We need to remind ourselves and we need to understand. Prabhupada explaining that our movement is not just a religious movement, it is also a cultural movement, a whole culture, Vedic culture. It is an educational movement, and it is a social movement. We are meant to bring about social changes within society. Of course, ultimately, none of this can happen without Krishna's mercy. So, I think it's probably the longest time I've spent in Pune side, Srinath Prabhu is orchestrated all of this, of course. I'm thankful to him. In the last 1 year or so, mostly been concentrated in Mayapur last couple of years. And although I came here before, and to the main temple, it was very nice to again get an opportunity to spend a bit more time with different devotees. The temple that you have here is attracting more and more devotees. It seems to be a phenomenon that is taking place in other temples, in India especially, which is of course a very good sign. We should all actually be, we're about to enter very soon a new phase. Actually, Prabhupada spoke about a new phase also during his time. The new phase I'm referring to is that our younger generation, all of you, will be called upon in the next few years especially to assume not only some of the major duties and responsibilities to carry on this movement, but actually all of them. Srila Prabhupada's disciples are becoming fewer and fewer every day, as you are seeing, which is a natural phenomenon. Our time is practically up in terms of doing whatever was possible to help Srila Prabhupada establish his Krishna consciousness movement. And so the second phase will be when there will be no longer any Prabhupada disciples on the planet, which is not too far away. Within the next 10 years or so, there will be much less. And within not so long after that, the day will come, there will no longer be any Prabhupada disciples present which means that actually the whole responsibility of carrying forth Krishna consciousness will be on your shoulders. It's a very big responsibility, but actually Srila Prabhupada's mercy is there, the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the previous acharyas is waiting to be given actually to all sincere devotees who want to help in various ways. We should try to understand, Srila Prabhupada has told us how the books that he has left for us are meant to be the guiding light for the next 10,000 years, because every day we read from Bhagavatam, Prabhupada's purpose, isn't it? We should make an effort also for those who possibly have not yet taken up the practice of hearing directly lectures from Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada's lectures are very potent, very powerful, and naturally, as our founder Acharya, he presents the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, I would say, through his lectures, especially in a very animated way, which is very captivating, which is very enlivening. And Prabhupada always underlined how the basic principle for us as devotees to be successful in Krishna consciousness is utsaha, enthusiasm. Prabhupada would give himself as an example that I went to your Western countries, I came to your Western countries at the ripe old age of 70 years. No one leaves home at that age. But because I was enthusiastic, because I took seriously the orders of my Guru Maharaj, because I have firm faith in the chanting of the holy name and the process of devotional service, therefore I was very enthusiastic to go to the Western countries. So try to keep this in mind. Prabhupada emphasized the importance of reading again and again and deeply understanding the subject matter, the essence actually of what is devotional service, as very wonderfully presented in the Nectar of Devotion, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. And Srila Prabhupada would explain that actually, if we can just begin to understand how these activities of bhakti, this chanting of the holy name, because they are totally transcendental, on the transcendental platform, these are connecting us with eternity. They're connecting us actually with the spiritual world. And this is the only thing, but this is what we can take with us when the day will come to leave this body, which will come for all of us. So my humble prayer and request is that all of you who are here are very, very fortunate. Take advantage of the opportunity that Krishna is giving to all of you. Prabhupada often he would say, just be sincere. Just be sincere in wanting to please Srila Prabhupada and wanting to serve. Don't unnecessarily be concerned about the future. Try to be conscious of the present. Be present. Be fully present in whatever service you're doing, and learn to depend on the mercy of Krishna and not be overly concerned with the ups and downs and the dualities that naturally the material world brings. So I want to take this opportunity actually to thank all the devotees here for, I've been taking shelter here for the last, 1 week or so. I want to thank Gopati Prabhu especially, and those devotees who have assisted him in making my short stay here a very pleasant, wonderful stay. We had a good number of engagements, both here and in close by places. So please continue nicely as you're doing, and surely Krishna will continue to bless all of you individually and to bless your yatra so that you can continue to reach more and more higher levels. I came a little on the late side. The program was supposed to start, I think, between 3:30 and 4:30. And we have some other program today. We're leaving. Our small group of devotees are basically having 2 more days before going back to Mayapur on the 4th. So let us all continue to serve nicely Prabhupada's mission, and we will, by these activities of devotional service, and especially by the chanting of the holy name, this is how we remain united in our common effort to serve and to please our founder, Acharya Srila Prabhupada and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Hare Krishna! Hare Krishna! Hare Krishna! Hare Krishna! Krishna Krishna! Krishna Krishna! Hare Hare! Hare Hare Rama! Hare Rama! Hare Rama! Hare Rama! Rama Rama! Rama Rama! Hare Hare! Hare Jai Sri Prabhupada ki Jai. Jai Samasta Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai.
Hare Krishna. Any question?
Yes.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, you said that we also have to see the social responsibilities. So in today's time, how can we see social responsibilities at our capacity?
You have not attended Varnashrama seminars? Huh? That's why you're asking the question. I mentioned, actually, it is recorded how Lord Chaitanya was a social reformer. And therefore, our movement is also meant to bring about social changes. What are the social changes that are meant to be brought? We are meant to change today's social system, which is mainly and primarily materialistic oriented, and replace that gradually with what we learn from our Vedic literatures from our Vedic culture, the social arrangement that is recommended in the Shastra, which is actually Varnashrama. Prabhupada made the following statement. One of the purposes of the Krishna consciousness movement, listen very carefully, one of the purposes of the Krishna consciousness movement is to bring about a complete overhaul in society. To bring about a complete overhaul means change in society, and to revert. Revert means to come back to the Vedic system of Varna and Ashrama. We have to study the basic principles and concepts of Vedic sociology. Krishna has already given us the formula for creating a perfect society. Those guidelines are given there in the Shastra, in particular Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. So when Prabhupada spoke about 50% of my mission as yet to be fulfilled, that of establishing Varnashrama, this is what Srila Prabhupada referred to. This transformation will not happen overnight, but this transformation will happen gradually as we introduce educational systems that are in line with Vedic culture. And that means specifically traditional Gurukula and Varnashram colleges. One book which we have been talking about a lot and that we have distributed, entitled Speaking About Varnashrama, is having all of the major statements made by Srila Prabhupada on the subject matter of Varnashrama Dharma, Daiva Varnashrama Dharma. And it is very clear, and we need to take the time to actually hear and discuss amongst ourselves the content, because it is within that book especially that we get the basic guidelines of how to proceed, what to do in order to help foster these very much needed changes. In every country in the world, education is a major activity, major department. Economics is also another major area. Politics. We need to learn what are the Vedic sciences. Again, we talked about this in the seminars. What is Vedic economy? What is Vedic education? What is Vedic politics? These are meant to be the foundational pillars of Vedic education. And Prabhupada wanted us to systematically introduce this knowledge, these sciences, and not that we just exclusively focus on the spiritual aspect of the Krishna consciousness movement. The spiritual dimension is the most important because that will carry us to our next destination, the spiritual world. But simultaneously, because we are here in the material world, dealing with the material energy, dealing with this body that we have, so there's a whole science dealing with society, dealing with individuals within society. There's a whole science that is there in our Shastra that we need to learn, a lot of which is based on material knowledge, but material Vedic knowledge, that will create what is meant to be the most ideal material and spiritual situation, so that we can be successful on all the different levels. Just like very well famous a verse in the first canto of the Bhagavatam, Savai Pumsam Paro Dharmo Jato Bhakti Radhoksaji Ahaituki Pratihata Yagatma Suprasidati. When we learn the principles of Dharma properly, nicely, and fully, completely addressing both spiritual and material dimensions, then all of our necessities of life, material, emotional, psychological, mental, intellectual, social, and spiritual will be met perfectly. Krishna is perfect, his system is perfect, we have to learn it perfectly, then everything will go on nicely.
थैंक यू महाराज जी।
Yes.
हम बहुत सौभाग्यशाली हैं महाराज जी का संग प्राप्त हुआ। वास्तव में देखा जाए तो महाराज जी अभी इमिजिएट निकलने वाले थे 4 बजे, पर जैसे महाराज जी को कहा कि यूथ प्रोग्राम करेंगे महाराज, तो महाराज जी का बहुत बिजी शेड्यूल था। सुबह 10:30 बजे से लेकर 1 बजे तक सेमिनार चला, फिर उसके बाद प्रसाद लेके इमिजिएट महाराज जी आए। तो महाराज जी खुद में एक मिसाल है श्रील प्रभुपाद जी के मिशन के लिए, कैसा डेडिकेटेडली हम सेवा कर सकते हैं। और जो महाराज जी ने बताया कि कैसा उत्साह भक्ति का एक सक्सेस एक राज है, तो महाराज जी अपने जीवन में ही दिखाते हैं। आपने देखा ही होगा हर दिन लीडरशिप करते हैं, तो ये एक्चुअली सच्चा यश है, सक्सेस है। तो ऐसे भक्त हमारे भक्ति को नरिश करने के लिए बीच बीच में आते हैं, ये हमारा सौभाग्य है एक्चुअली। जैसे महाराज जी ने कहा कि और 10 साल हम बड़े भाग्यशाली है। ये जो हमारा अभी का जो बच्चे लोग हैं, नेक्स्ट आने वाली जनरेशन को शायद ही प्रभुपाद डिसेबल्स मिलेंगे। तो हम बहुत बहुत हृदयपूर्वक धन्यवाद देते हैं महाराज जी से। एक बार हरे कृष्णा या महामंत्र।
कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
Thank you, Maharaj. Please come again and again.